Hi, hello. Oh my god, it's been a while. I'm thinking, ooh, I think I started filming this vlog at the start of the semester. It is now almost the end. Working on one of my finals right there. Trust the process. Okay, please. But, and like you can see by my depression mess behind me, this semester is, like school is fine. It's just going to school and the job that I'm not particularly fond of, but it pays the bills, and I'm just like, but this vlog, I'm gonna just try to put it together. The thing is, instead of using this camera, which is arguably much better, even though I'm still trying to figure out how it works, I've been using my cell phone camera to record a lot of my vlogs because it's convenient. And also I took this camera out one time and ended up breaking it, and the repair bill was like almost as much as the camera. But yeah, so so the video is kind of like not that great. And also I kind of, when I went to go upload the files from the SD card to my computer, a lot of them got corrupted and just fucking ruined. So I'm gonna try to piece this vlog together as best as I can. There's some clips from the very beginning, there's some clips from the middle, and then honestly there are a few from the end, because I don't really do weekly or bi-weekly vlogs. I kind of do in chunks. Like, this is pretty much the first half of my semester, and then the next video is going to be the last half or the last third and all my finals. And I guess some little events from today. I'm actually filming 2 intros or something, or clips right now, but it's fine. Like, I'm okay with that. I'm filming I'm filming and making these vlogs is more of like a personal diary. Of course, I have a very written diary. Like, I have several written diaries, but I'm doing these like condensed video diaries of the best parts, and then everything else is kind of going to be on the side. Because yes, I talk about my mental health and physical health a lot, but like, I don't think everyone wants to know how horribly depressed I am all the time. Just know that I am. Typical millennial. Alright, so let's get into the vlog. I think the first few clips is going to be me going into the new building. I'm usually in the Mint building, but my classes are in Bunnell, so I have to basically go to my locker and then haul ass to a completely other building. And every day that I try to go to my class, no matter how many times I've gone to this class, I always take the wrong turn to end up in a completely different building. Yes. Okay, so on to mini tour of our classroom. This is the first day. No one's here except for me and this one other student. I'm super excited about it. And the teacher had a couple of his prints, and I think some of the other students' prints up for display, and I'm like, ooh. So they're super duper cool. So after that, we kind of just did a quick little guide around the classroom, see where things were. I got distracted by the random negatives here. And unfortunately, only one of the 2 sinks works, but the class is so small, you don't even really notice it. And then the proctor mixes our chemicals for us. We have so many chemicals, we have never run out. Alright, so quick other view, some other rooms we have in our photo studio. We don't really use this room that much. It's just going to be the other developing room I'll show you guys later. And then on the first day at school, the teachers gave us like 8 rolls of film. Do you know how expensive this film is? I was like losing my shit in class. I'm just so excited for the class. But anyway, onto my camera. I have the Minolta SRT-202. I'm using a Nikon lens cap because I cannot find Minolta originals to save my life. But honestly, this camera is a freaking tank. Like, just listen to it. Listen. The sound mechanical cameras make is just so satisfying. Look, listen. Ah! Unfortunately, I am missing a few parts of this camera, like that little thing on the left side, that's the battery for the light meter. But when cameras are this old, they're just so broken, it's not even worth it. Here's our front view of what the shutter looks like on the camera. And oh my god, I'm just like looking at this now. This is a self-timer. I love the self-timer, but it sounds like cicadas. Alright, so on to showing you guys how to awkwardly load a camera. So I have my video camera between me and my manual camera. So it's so awkward and like fumbling around. But pretty much you take the short end of the lead and try to stick it in little slots there. if you can get it. And probably just hold everything taut, spin it around, take a few photos to get everything completely on the reels, and then you're good to go. Just close it up, and then make sure you put the little knob on the left. Make sure that is down, or you will not be able to take photos. Hello. Oh my god, we're in class. I got like, I'm so lucky, like no one's here right now. Okay. We have a light above my head, so it's kind of blown out right here, but oh my god, I'm so excited. It's just me right now. So I pretty much have the whole like developing lab to myself, unless another student comes by, which is also amazing. Also, I'm wearing a scarf right now so that I don't get any of the weird chemicals in my hair. It's just, yeah. Chemicals in my hair and also on my hoodie and my pants because I'm wearing black jeans as always. The developer and fixer will absolutely bleach the living shit out of your clothes. If not bleach it, it will leave weird, white, crusty, suspicious stains on everything. So yes. I actually need to finish this roll of film. I have about 8 or 9 more shots left on here, so I'm gonna go probably take a few things around the dark room. The developing room, and then face the tank. I have to do 2 rolls today. Yes. And I'm going to stop recording and try to find a better angle because this looks weird. But also my light meter is on my phone, so I need my phone back. I'm gonna go into the dark room now and unload my film. I'm gonna reload this one up with some fresh film, and then these 2 here need to be loaded up on the reel. So I'm gonna go here and into the Patterson tank. So after struggling for a few minutes to get my film on the reels, we got everything loaded up in our Patterson tank. So we're gonna head back off to the developing room. And see that? I make sure to wear the ugliest shoes possible in case I spill it. So I got my temperature around like 68 degrees, and following the chart, it's gonna be like a good 10 to 11 minutes of me developing that film. So I'm washing my hands, adding some warm water to get the film acclimated, because if you have cold film and then you put like hot chemicals in there, it'll do weird things and ruin all that hard work. So once you get it all washed out, you put your dev tank in there, your development chemicals in there, slap the top on, and you spend 30 seconds just spinning the lid, slapping things down to get all the air bubbles out. And it's honestly a very, very boring process. I have my iPad on the top shelf and I'm like watching anime as I'm developing my film. So after 30 seconds, you let it rest, and then every 30 seconds for about 5 seconds, you kind of agitate the container. And then yeah, I have 10 more minutes of doing this. 10 more boring minutes. And after 10 minutes, that's what it looks like. The developer gets all foamy from you constantly agitating it, and you just kind of dump that out. Once you dump all that out, put some clean fresh water in there. Again, another 30 seconds of just washing out. That just helps get the developer off so that when you add the fixer, you're not mixing too many chemicals together. And it's another 30 seconds of constant agitation. Let it sit for 30 seconds. 5 more seconds. 30 seconds. It's a lot, but it's really, really fun. So the fixer goes for 5 minutes, and once you take that out, this is what film looks like. It's safe to take it out of that light tight container. You can't really see anything yet, so you give it a nice wash for 2 minutes. And once that's done, or while that's going, I'm rinsing out my Patterson tank so I don't have to get too many of them dirty at once. And then with the forbidden Gatorade, with fixer remover, we're going to take it out of the water, go right into the fixer. I should have had a lid on here, but I didn't, so I'm just using my hands to agitate the reels inside of there. Give it a flip over just because I'm an idiot, and put the top on, and it's just kind of good to go. Once that's out, back in the water for another few minutes, and then this super soapy wetting agent, this helps you not get water streaks on your film. And oh my god, the chemicals are so strong. My hands are so dry after this. And then once we're done with the wetting agent, you kind of carefully take it off the reel. And then we have this giant file cabinet dryer that we carefully put those in. And then on the very, very bottom of the reel, I'm going to take an old film canister and attach that to the bottom to help the film stay straight as it's drying. Because if not, it will curl and your negatives will be not impossible to print, but it's going to be really, really annoying to try to get them in the carrier so that you can make prints later. Right, so I got 20 minutes until my film is done drying. I didn't bring any snacks with me, so I'm gonna see if I can find a vending machine. If not, I'll probably just go to Pavilion and see what's in the cafe. But I think it's like 3 o'clock right now, so it's probably closed. I think, yeah, it's gonna have to be a vending machine. Okay, so we're not supposed to be in here right now, but I wanted to show you guys what our larger room looks like. This is actually the room we do all of our prints in. So we have all of our enlarges here. I believe there's like, I can't count right now. There's like 15 or 16 here is enough for everyone to have their own stations. We have, some of them have this easel right here. We have our like grain finder. Other ones have the thing here. This kind of easel, ugh, words. I prefer this kind of easel actually. And it's cool because they lift up like that. Your paper kind of slots into these little things here. There's little grooves in there. And here, you just kind of adjust your paper a certain way, you know, to get some like margin, edges, stuff like that. This here is the table that we have all of our chemicals on. This is our developer. This is our stop. This is our fixer. And then you have our water here. The water just runs constantly to help rinse out all the chemicals from your paper, especially since we're using resin coated paper, sorry. But we're going to switch over to fiber. So definitely we're going to have at least both of these running constantly to have our prints constantly washed. And I think this kind of reminds me of an embalming table, but that's just me being creepy. And then this is the chemical that we use, Speed Fixer. I've used it before and I actually had like really good results and I'm super happy with it. But yeah, and then we have this here. This is the one that I usually use the most. We all kind of picked our stations and so I'm here. And I usually go between full frame or the regular size, can't explain it, but full frame. Like you have a photo and you have that black outline around your photo. That's what this one is. And then this is the regular one, it'd just be your photo. So depending on the print I'm doing, I'll use both. So I usually have it here. And of course, 13, my favorite number. I was going to go to enlarger number 13, which is over there, but enlarger 13 is broken. So very, very sad. So I just swapped the box from 13 over here. I don't know. It's a weird thing. 13 is my birthday, favorite number. Everyone thinks it's unlucky, but it's my birthday. Therefore, it's the best number ever. And then all of them here, they're already like, they're all pre-marked with the enlarger heights, depending on, well, the size of your negatives. I have 35 with some of my photos that are like really out of focus or slightly out of focus and blurry. If I move it a little bit more, it kind of helps sharpen it up. And then in this box of 13, these are all the filters. Like these are the OG photo filters here. I think 2 is like kind of neutral. And then we have 3 is a little stronger. Let me see. These aren't color filters, these are for black and white, but then you have 5, which is like super strong. And it's so much fun to play with. I'm having a lot of fun in this class. And let me go before I get in trouble. Oh wait, turn the light. All right, yep, so to get in and out of the dark room, we have this big spinny thing here. Let me see. Can't really get, but it kind of like spins around. This is how we get in and out of our dark room. And then back over here, we have our light tables. This is where you saw me in, I think, another clip I took. This is where I go and like look at my negatives, cut them out. And this is where we dry all of our prints. It's kind of like, oh, this is one of my classmates' prints. Looks a little, I don't know why they left it here, but so this is a machine. You kind of put it in here and kind of fuse through and just dries everything. It's like a big toaster, pretty much. So this is the one we use now. It's for resin coated paper only. And I think this one here and this one are for the fiber papers. These are the dryers and this is the washer. Pretty much just like a big ass tumble dryer to wash all of our fiber prints. But this is for fiber paper and we're not using that right now. We're only using resin coated. So it's going to be that bath in there that's constantly running. And then we go here into the giant toaster. These are the matte machines. Kind of go over here. This is where we mat and mount everything here. And then in this room, another room, we do all of our matting mounting, but we don't use this room yet. I think some of the digital students have used this room, but not us. We're going to be using it probably later on in the semester. Alright, so after about 20-30 minutes, my film is completely dry. So I'm taking over to the light tables here that have the brightest bulbs in the world. Just going through my prints, inspecting them, seeing how they are, spending way too much time looking at them, honestly. But what you're gonna do is once you get them here, inspect your prints, you're gonna cut them into strips of 5 and then load them into your little file folder. And honestly, it's like, it's wild that I'm actually being able to do this entire process from start to finish, you know, aside from making the film and making the camera. But I'm having a lot of fun with this class. I'm using an old medium format camera lens to actually look at my negatives under magnification. We don't have an actual like negative enlarger. And it's just really interesting. Here's some clips of what they look like through my camera lens. Sorry for the light flicker.
Hard to see because of the light, the way the camera's picking up the light, but see that? Like it kind of looks like mold spots, but it's not. These little, all these circle areas, those are all like lights. So I believe this was Passyunk. Around this area, there's a bunch of restaurants and shops, and they have it decorated with like streetlights all the time. See, like, it kind of looks like mold.
Okay, so I actually went and inverted the colors here in Premiere Pro so you can see what my negatives would look like printed. And they look so much better in negatives, but in actual print, it's like, you know what I mean? Just like, damn. And it's mostly because of the small size versus a full-on 8x10 or 11:14 photo. But also, oh my god. So sometime in like the middle of the semester, I had the entire darkroom to myself for like 2 whole hours. So I just tried with my, you know, crappy cell phone camera to try to get some video of me making a print. I will try my best to describe to you what's happening in real time. So I'm kind of just going through like the bajillion negative sheets that I have right now. And I'm going to make sure that I'm very, very, very carefully removing them from the strip by only touching the edges. If you need to touch the negatives, try to get the very, very, very edge. Loading it right up into the carrier here, and on the bottom right you can see what the image kind of looks like. And that little blue thing there, that is going to be a grain fighter. What you're trying to do is get the image in focus, and think of like looking at specks of pepper. You want the pepper to be very, very well defined. And here, because the image looks a little like weird, I decided it needed a filter, so I'm starting off with a 2.5. 2.5 is like my baseline because I honestly underexpose a lot of my photos, or overexpose them, sorry. So having a filter kind of helps compensate for that. So after 4 seconds, I'm going to take the strip over to the developing tank, and I'm going to let this play out in real time so you can see how quickly the print develops in the water. So while that first test strip was in developer, I moved it out to the stop bath and then the fixer. And then from there, I have some other test strips that I was working on. So the first few that I did should be ready to come out of this fixer. So we're gonna take those outside into the light to see what it looks like eventually. So this is the one I just showed you guys. And I'm putting it in the stop bath. And then some of the older ones I have, we're gonna take outside to look at them. Alright, so that's what it looks like in the light. The contrast isn't really right there. So what I'm going to do is go from a 2.5 to a number 5 filter. It's pink, but it doesn't really affect the black and white qualities of the film. And I also had to up the time, so it actually went for about 8 seconds on this test strip here. Same deal, once that's done, we're going to go right over to the developing tank, even though I bent the strip. Test it out again and just keep going. We're making adjustments like changing the aperture and the light. I'm changing how long I'm going to develop it for. But I think number 5 was the good contrast I decided for this print. And I believe it was like 7 seconds. And then the one right there on top, that's me doing a number 5 filter. And I believe that one was about 6 seconds. So it's there, but the one on the bottom was 8 seconds. That was too much, right? So here I am doing an actual full print on a full 8x10 sheet of paper. Same deal, all the notes I made from the strips, I'm gonna redo it again. And see me, I'm flicking a box right there trying to dodge and burn it because I think the left side got a little too developed versus the right. And flicking the paper up and down like that makes sure you don't get a hard edge on the print. So I'm trying to record, I'm making sure I do multiples of the same test. Like some of them look great, sometimes it's like, it's a little there, but not really, or like it's almost perfect, but maybe I have to change it. And then here I forgot to close the aperture down, so I just blasted the paper so it was completely black. And also my margins weren't perfect, so I redid this print like 3 times, which is why I have so many. But it was kind of like a little Ai Weiwei action here with me flipping off something in the background. But we're gonna take this out to the light and see what it looks like. And honestly, this is as good as this print's going to get. The negative itself isn't that great, but I'm happy with the print overall. And here I decided to go through just a quick little flip through of some of the prints and contact sheets that I have so far. This is actually near the end of the semester. And I have another video in the part 2 of this vlog of me going through everything that I'm picking out for my final. These are some of the test papers I have. You see with those blocks of colors, me just testing out the exposure times, failing to print things out correctly. Just some random prints I like that aren't quite there, but definitely next video I'm gonna go through, pick everything out for my portfolio and for my semester department review. It is, I think I counted and I have like 350 prints. Like, I kind of went a little ham in this class. A little sneak peek of the last bit of prints I have to go through for my finals. You know, Minmo, and also one of my favorite photos that I took of Pak Pak. I decided to mount it on hardboard because why not? But yeah, this is it for this vlog, and I hope to see you guys next time. I'm working on part 2 of this. Hopefully it'll be out soon.